was a real hit to the gut because my family was not the only family that enjoyed Simsmore tennis. Joe, his wife Jude, their kids, they all played at our club. They all enjoyed the club. And in a way, it was a perfect example of a family taking advantage of the club that we put together and tried to run. And I don't know, so it really hit me. They were such a good example of what we were trying to accomplish. It just hit me when Joe passed away that it just would be awesome to do something in his memory that again would focus on family, would focus on children. And so I think that's where the idea came from first, to do the scholarship. And it's really been awesome because we have the right team in place. Jim just really took it from there. And now it's the foundation's in place. It's a dynamo. So I'm just glad to be a part of it.
So with our Joe Krzyzewski community program for youth, we really have a significant focus on making sure that community youth can play tennis year-round. So we got introduced to this wonderful program at Westminster called the Westminster Horizons Program. We started in the first summer working with about 130 children who had never been exposed to or even heard of the game of tennis. They loved it. What was important was after that summer camp program was up, was how do we make sure that we can continue year-round with these kids? We found out that a good amount of the children were from Moylan Elementary School in Hartford. So we contacted the school there and they were wonderful. And they were very receptive to the RFL Foundation coming in, purchasing equipment for the school, bringing in volunteers, training of staff, getting tennis rackets for the kids. And so we ended up doing over a 20-week program at the school with the same children from the summer who now then play year-round. As we keep expanding into this year-round lifetime sport, the next phase is to make sure we can afford scholarships so that the kids can play in programming, either at RFL or elsewhere, that they can play year-round. We also want to expand into other schools and have the funding and support and human resources with volunteers as well, so that we can purchase equipment and to go into other schools as well as junior highs and continue the story so that these kids aren't just getting exposed to tennis once or for 6 weeks in the summer, but that we're following them all the way through the grades until they get to high school where they can then play on their teams.
I like tennis because it's fun. We're great. I'm great. And you can hit the ball and we can play the fire.
What's your favorite game you've played? You don't know? Favorite stroke? You like doing forehands, backhands? Backhands, yeah. And what about you? Yeah.
We're proud of the work that they do. They do the tennis program with our kids because they make a lot of exercise. They learn a lot. They don't feel like bad about they playing. They feel like they make that the kids feels like in family. And that was really good for them. And then thank you for bringing the opportunity to our kids for play and learn more about tennis.
In the sort of enrichment realm was tennis. Kathleen Schuster, one of our former Westminster parents and oncoming trustee, decided to come and bring Racquet for Life, which is a club in Simsbury, to do tennis lessons once a week, and the kids loved it.
Tennis has been doing really good. They showed us how to hit the ball and everything, so I have been learning some new things. I have never played tennis. I heard of it, but I never played it today, but it is a really good game. And I love it very, very much.
A lot of them had never played before, but they got pretty good.
One more time. So I reached out to Jim at RFL, who I didn't know, but I just thought maybe I could borrow some tennis balls or rackets. And he said, well, would you like me to help you? I said, yeah, actually, let's talk. So we met and really quickly just realized that this would be a great match because he was looking to start this foundation and he volunteered to volunteer. And so I took him up on it, and that is how tennis got started at Horizons.
And how did we jump from Horizon to going to our after school at Moylan during the year?
You got it?
Yeah. We both probably can answer that, but I saw my personal viewpoint was that Jim loved what he was doing here at Horizons, and he loved the Horizons program. And having been on court with him and also at some of the other Horizons events with him, I could just see his passion. And obviously the wheels were spinning for him, so he reached out to Patrick and wanted to connect and do something beyond Horizons. And so you can take it from there if you want, but Patrick, I believe, connected him with the Moylan School, where so many of the Horizons kids come from. And thus the after school Moylan tennis program started with RFL, which went all through the year, once a week. And we had 3 courts running in the gym at Moylan, and a bunch of kids, and the number of volunteers just grew week by week because you only have to come once to participate, and you see what an impact this program is making on these kids.
Yeah, and I think from the Moylan end, all that I hear about is just positive rave reviews about RFL and this new opportunity that they're able to offer their students. So it was super exciting for us as Horizons and a Moylan partner to be able to connect another great organization with the school and continue to enhance their student experience.
Well, I think the kids really fell in love with tennis at the get-go. They just really seemed to take to it, and they wanted to come every week. They were excited to show up every week. And I think this year was just a development of that. And what was really great was to see how some of the kids improved on the tennis court, and they saw that. And that's, I think, the beauty of just having this program here. They can learn something. This is a sport they now have for life, but they see themselves getting better. And that's amazing.
Yeah. And I think too about like the growth. I mean, we stepped into this last summer not really knowing what to expect and how it was going to go, and RFL was sort of this unknown entity for us, but they showed up and just did such an outstanding job, coming once a week for tennis. And so then we're like, okay, how can we do more? We want to do more. And so having them come to Saturdays, we actually hosted Moylan's Field Day this year at Westminster, and the first person I called was Jim to be like, hey, any chance we could throw tennis into the mix so that we could broaden the exposure to all the kids, not just the Horizons kids. And of course, he brought the cavalry, and the kids had an awesome time for that event. And then this summer we did tennis 2 days a week, just because the kids wanted more and more. And we obviously have a growing number of students, so we wanted to be able to meet all of their needs. So it's just, it's continued to build and grow. And I always used to joke that my first summer here, when you'd ask a kid what was the best part of their day or the best part of their summer, it was always the pool. Always. Swimming was always the number one answer. And now it's not. Tennis is creeping up to be the number one answer. So they are definitely in love with tennis, and it's a great opportunity for them.
One area we're really proud of supporting is Asiane's Way. There's a wonderful young lady who, she has cerebral palsy, and a little less than a year ago, she had this dream of really wanting to play tennis, and she had called area tennis clubs looking for an opportunity. Is there a way I can learn the game of tennis? No one was able to offer her anything. And fortunately, through our great connection through the JCC, we got introduced to Asiane and her mother and her family. And when we heard the story that she wanted to learn the game, we said, how soon can you get over to the club? And from that point on, she has not only learned the game of tennis, but she actually played on her high school tennis team, Hall, their developmental team, which is just an amazing story. And she has hopes of playing in Special Olympics, as well as continuing to play and compete on her high school team. And really, Asiane's Way is she's setting the trend to let people know it doesn't matter who you are, anyone can get exposed to this great, wonderful game of tennis.
very grateful for the RFL Foundation, and a little backstory is that we met Jim 3 years ago after my mom had her spinal cord injury, and he started practicing with me and my sister Karina, and that was really special. He was very friendly and big-hearted right from the get-go, and it was just a very special connection.
Jim was great. It was a really tough time for me, not being able to hit or run, and starting to struggle with what I was going to do for training for my girls, and I didn't want my injury to prevent them from continuing to improve and achieving their goals. So he took both of them under his wing and hit with them weekly. And we worked as a team, as two coaches, trying to figure out, what's the next step for them.
Through Jim at RFL Simsbury, we have met a ton of new players, and that has really helped Karina and me to really grow as a tennis player ourselves, and all of these new people definitely feel like family. We're very close to them, and we definitely feel their support.
Absolutely. It takes a village to raise two players at high levels, and everyone involved is awesome, whether they're supporting us when we're home or when we're away, and getting texts and phone calls and cheering us on. The support is absolutely wonderful. As we all know, tennis, especially in New England, is expensive, and places, Florida and California, where you can play tennis year-round outside, tennis is definitely more affordable. But with the indoor costs, and then once you get, to a higher level where you have national travel and international travel, it costs a lot. And the RFL Foundation has been absolutely a blessing to us. We're incredibly grateful for it, to help out with, whether it's national travel or international travel. It's absolutely amazing.
When Jim asked me to be on the board of the RFL Foundation, I was absolutely thrilled. Partly working with Jim and knowing his dedication to bringing tennis and racket sports to everybody was really exciting, but also just a way to give back to a sport that I've played for my entire life. Probably started when I was 5 years old, played competitively, played in college, and I've been involved with it really for my whole life, and this was a great way to get back to the sport. So as a pro at RFL, the volunteering part of the foundation is really like the most thrilling, and it's really just sort of the look in the kids' eyes when you see how much fun they're having. They're getting introduced to a sport that they might never have a chance to be introduced to, and they absolutely love it. And to watch them develop their games from the beginning of the school year till the end of the school year was just absolutely thrilling.
I started volunteering with Racquets for Life Foundation, and I felt like there was a strong community aspect to what we were doing, and this personal connection led me to doing some logo designs that were specific to the foundation and focusing on like the community and like the coach-player kind of interaction and connection. And one of the logos that I designed was a silhouette, which is based off of a picture of my dad and I.